I think continuing to play fighting games is bad for me. So this person talks about loving the idea, admitting that they have depression and anxiety, and no judgment on that, but how it's hindering their performance where they get worse and worse, quote unquote, instead of improving. They lose concentration, they devolve into button mashing, and it seems like it's spreading to other types of fighting games. And when they lose, they get more and more angry. Things that wouldn't have bothered them in the past are really upsetting them. And it's really disappointing because they want to play, they want to get better, but it's frustrating because they just seem to be losing all sense of enjoyment. And they think they're going to take a break from fighting games, probably all games at this point. And yeah, I don't want to be dismissive of this at all. I don't want to say, hey man, just remember it's a game, because that's not useful. I wanted to bring this up because it really hits home with me. Sorry for that gap right there. Honestly, one of the biggest reasons why I started streaming is not to become a big streamer. Obviously, look at the views and how I'm running this thing. But the biggest thing is to keep myself in check, because when I'm getting frustrated playing Tekken on PS4, I notice myself getting saltier and saltier. Sometimes I look back when I was playing games when I was younger, and my younger brother was such a sore loser. Like, he was fuming. He'd have your typical idea of like a rage reaction, and try to appease him, tell him to calm down at the time. But sometimes I wonder, like, maybe it was good for him to get it out of his system when he was younger. Sometimes I look at a lot of life decisions and how I handled situations, and I was so smart, calm, cool, collected, and patient. Sometimes I feel like I used up all my patient points when I was younger. But one of the big things to address with fighting games here is, yeah, there is a huge learning curve. And you do want to play games to be good and get better. And when you're hitting that wall, totally understand the frustration. And it's tricky, because if you decide that, do you really think it's worth investing your time getting better at, and you decide not, like, that's totally okay. I've been quote unquote lucky where, as brutalizing as the fighting game mechanics can be, something keeps pulling me back. I do still have some sort of enjoyment from it. In a weird way, I guess it's like people who decide they like to run, even though running is joyless and painful and exhausting. Like, if you want to get healthy and fit, there's so many other things that you can do, but there's a lot of people who love it, or love to hate it. Okay, let me go ahead and start some matches here while I collect my thoughts a little bit further. But one of the things that we should talk about is the idea that these things take time, because they absolutely do. But I feel like the phrase, hey, give yourself some more time, remember it takes time, gets overused to the point where the actual meaning is diluted. For me, I picked up Tekken 7 like just a few months after it officially launched on PS4. And I went through the arcade modes, I beat all the story mode, I did Treasure Battle and got Eliza to Tekken God Prime first, and soon after I got Asuka. But after that, I kind of dropped it. And it wasn't until like a year or two later, after Season 1 had fully completed, Season 2 rolled out, that I jumped back in. And that's when I started to actually get okay with the mechanics. I've been playing fighting games since junior high, and with a lot of these games, you have legacy input, legacy knowledge, and that was something that was always fun for me. When I played fighting games back then, I loved to go through the move list. I tried to quote unquote master everybody, and by master, just remembering the inputs and being able to do them from memory, not necessarily learning all the other fighting game mechanics that people will talk about: zoning, footsies, crouching, blocks, all those other aspects of movement. I never focused on that. I never paid attention to that. But somehow I started being wiser to it with Tekken, learning that as awesome as it is to string together a long sequence or to air juggle, but just really utilizing pokes, rethinking what moves that I wanted to use. Oh shoot, demotion match here. So learning that, okay, there's this certain tier of learning all the strings, learning to get really good at air juggling, but starting with this fundamental of not being too aggressive and just poking. I'm still not great at being defensive because to me that's really boring and I don't like to play that way. But realizing that, okay, I don't have to push the pace so aggressively, I can pop in 1-2, pop in low high, pop in high low high. Simple things like that. Popping in and then stepping back again. And that gave me, no, that did not give me. I started trying to do it online. So the big thing for me is I never played online before because I have such a negative experience and idea of playing online because of first-person shooters. Reaction speed is just too slow for that. And it's interesting because fighting games definitely need a certain amount of quick reaction speed and timing. It's just different. So the point on that is how do you want to do the math on how long you've been playing? I could say I've been playing Tekken since Tekken 3, and that's like 1999, so that's 21 years ago. But the way I played back then isn't the way I play now. And even if I said I've been playing Tekken 7 since it came out, the way I play it now is not the way I played it back then. And I stuck with it because of my own personal choice and conviction. But in that time in between, I played other stuff. Sometimes you do need to walk away. Sometimes you need to do something more mindless and quote-unquote easy. I think Dynasty Warriors is really good for that. A hack and slash, or playing a JRPG where you can take your time. Those type of game mechanics have a level up system. They're a lot more easily rewarding. When you put the grind into that, you can see immediate results. Whereas in a fighting game, okay, let's pause that thought real quick. Point that I keep trying to make that I can't do because I can't multitask is losses don't feel good. That's for sure. We're not going to be dismissive of that. I'm not going to tell you just be positive, but in an instance like that, you can totally become a better player when you're losing. So what did I learn from there? I still have this habit of doing the slower moves. They don't have frame advantage. I also have a bad habit of blocking combos that even if I don't know them before the matchup, I see my opponent utilizing them enough times where it's something as simple as a 3-hit string or a 2-hit string, and I block the first one, which is great. That's big progress for me. I shouldn't be dropping my guard on the second or third one just because I'm holding forward. Learning not to hold forward because you want to close the distance, it's such a bad habit. But it's reminders of that, like talking about after the fact, I can tell you, I can explain like that's what I need to do, but circumstances of practice versus actually being in a more high pressure environment, you don't know how you're going to behave, and you need more drilling of that. And it's as simple as that. Is this the same Zafina? It hasn't been until recently that I've experienced that whole getting rematched to a person that you just fought. Yo, Kanye. I blame you again, Kanye. No. His comment, it's hard to practice in high pressure situations. For sure. And I mean, What does that mean? You're like, you gotta go to more tournaments. You just gotta invest more time, period. It could be any one of those things. It could also mean that you need some more time away. Holy crap, this Athena is back with a vengeance. I kid. This is all my problems here. But while I can blame multitasking, I think it's like the same for a lot of people who are playing. So I'm saying I can't multitask, but there's certain thought process that go out the window once you start getting pummeled by your opponent. And you know things need to change. Oh, super whiff here. I bet they got a good laugh out of that. Knowing you need to change and then implementing the change in the situation, it's hard. It's super hard. So it's not always a logical thing. Pulling from like my old high school football coach, you got to be physically and mentally tough. And I'm sure that there's a big chunk of cheese when he said it. But over years, more life experience, it's true. Like, your body's just going to react in certain ways, and you need to drill in a certain type of muscle memory response. I remember back when I was trying to play Street Fighter V, and one of my friends noticed like I kept just fudging the stupid moves that he did. He told me that I needed to go into training mode and just practice blocking for an hour and a half. And obviously I didn't do it, but his point is still very valid. What type of conditioning are you giving yourself, essentially? So, still dropping my guard against those lows, not crouching. But real-time practice here, good block on those 3 hit strings. Like, sometimes it's really simple stuff that sounds... Not that your activity of skateboarding is lame, but the notion of like taking a breath, going out for a walk, it sounds lame, but sometimes that's what you need. Another quick comment about this Zafina player here, as far as like what the wins and losses really mean as a testament to how good of a player you are. I know for sure this Zafina player is better than me. They know the inputs, they can backdash, but you can still capitalize on a win. And what do? I do my scrub stuff of poking and implementing lows. And when I'm not being dumb with my multitasking or just unnecessary forward movement, I can take the set. And I wonder if that's the super frustrating thing for the Zafina player, because I'm sure they know it. They know that they're better than me. So next time anybody's like feeling down on themselves for like being bad at a fighting game, it's worth a moment to rethink and talk through what does it mean to be good. Look at this. It looks visually boring, but that punishment, well, here I go, bad multitasking again. See, this notation, like, I don't get the wrong idea, like, that's how I always play. Forcing myself to stream. Whoa, see, he whiffed that. He whiffed that. That's what I'm using streaming for, man. Like, because a lot of people, they have certain thoughts, but thinking it, and what I do with my coaching, talking it out loud, it's a different thing. And ultimately, yes, talk is cheap, quote unquote, because talking doesn't always guarantee action. But a lot of people who are so quick to dismiss talking, those are the people who should be talking a little bit more, you know? Ooh, good dodge. Look at this. So, look at that pro movement there, but so unnecessary. Look at that. Succumbing to a simple mix-up. And that's no diss. Okay, let me be clear, because I'm not good enough to like be trash talking people. I'm just talking about how easily the tables could have been turned. I could have done the exact same thing. Running short on time here, so this will probably be like the last set. The hard work with it comes from honestly trying to balance stress in like other areas of life. I do have this creative side to me, so you know, it sucks that can't always profit from it, but if I'm going through stages of life where I'm just not making anything, that's a big downer. See, look at this. So I bet you this is what happened. Again, I still stand by the statement that Zafina player is a better player than me, but we traded off moments of aggression. You know, I took the very first set, and then he or she pummeled me for 2 or 3 sets after that. But being smarter, blocking those simple strings, utilizing dumb basic punishments, and in that very last set right there, I took three rounds in a row, I think. That has to be salt and rage from the other end. Okay, so it always goes both ways. Like anytime like you're feeling super down or hard on yourself, or like, oh, it sucks, like, and it's a constant learning, unlearning process, because every moment where I seem to get composure here on the stream, like if I'm playing on PS4 over the weekend, I get super salty again. My stream that I did Tuesday, that was rough. Like, I have a poker face of sorts where it doesn't really come across on camera, but man, I was mad Tuesday because I was experiencing matchup after matchup of situations, me making dumb moves. I could have taken that set and I just didn't. The big thing is nobody needs to be adding more stress and pressure and expectations upon themselves. If anybody goes back to the beginning of the stream, I think it was a little bit more comprehensible and focused. Yeah, chilling out, man. Like, the world's a mess. A lot of expectations with all the disappointments. Things are changing. So if stuff is going out the window, like, just make sure you take time as much as possible to enjoy and chill out. So that's going to be it for today. Running a little bit over. Got to get back to my gig work. Kanye, appreciate you hanging in here. And like I said, that next video should be coming out this weekend. And everyone else, catch you on Tuesday. Take it easy, people.